Okay. All right, here we go again. Episode 3. I've got some background noise going on there. What is that?
That's got to be on your end.
There's nobody here
I
but
heard,
me.
I heard it briefly.
Okay, let's start over. All right, here we go again. This is episode 3. My name is David. This is my brother Ray, and we are.
Preachers from the bleachers.
That's right. So here we go. Let's go to the hot hand. So what we got to talk about this week is the NFL draft recap.
Yeah.
So tell me what you think. Just give me overall stuff, and then we'll hit some high points and some details. What do you think?
I mean, overall, man, I think the Ravens did the best job. I mean, first of all, they got the most players from the SEC. I think they got 4. And then, like, if you can get the most players from whoever get the most SEC players, and more specifically, if you can get players from Georgia, Alabama, and LSU, you probably gonna be in good shape. I mean, I ain't gonna say the whole SEC because Arkansas is in the SEC.
Yeah, that's
Missouri's in the SEC. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Arizona had more SEC players last year than anybody else in the NFL. They didn't win 12, 13 games. So, if
They're young. They're young.
The top end of the SEC, you probably gonna do real well in the draft. But I mean, I forgot the 2 big boys that they had already signed. Name escapes me right now, but then they got your boy from Texas A&M. He an Aggie. I think his name was Justin Marmaduke, something, I don't know, but he a dog. But I know he gave all the kids trouble out in the SEC. They got my boy wide receiver from Texas. So they picked players who were really good at what they do and fit in with what they trying to do. And then, I mean, they went out and got Patrick McQueen from LSU. He ain't gonna be Ray Lewis, but he can be C.J. Mosley.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson called him Ray Lewis Jr. or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, CJ right there now. I believe CJ came from Alabama. He doing pretty good for the Ravens. He could be that good. He ain't gonna be no Ray Lewis good. We got probably another 5, 8 years before we see another Ray Lewis.
All right, well, we'll see. Speaking of the Ravens, the draft went really well for them. But I heard today that Vegas put the over/under on Lamar Jackson's rushing next year at 999.5 yards.
Take the under.
Yeah, me too.
Take the under.
Me too.
Everybody and their mama know he want to run now, right? I ain't saying the kid can't throw. I love him. It's like watching Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham, and Warren Moore all wrapped up in the one. I love him. But he know, the Ravens know, and the NFL know. Go ahead and step outside that pocket one time too many. I know he got the ski. I know he can juke. I know he got all of the moves, but you can't put your quarterback in those kind of positions repeatedly over and over. If he drop back and he take off, that's okay. But they ain't gonna do them design runs. That's got to go. Yeah. We do that. You break that out on the Super Bowl.
He's gonna get hurt. Yeah, if he keeps doing all that stuff. All right. So you said the Ravens did well. I think also that the Cowboys did really well. So unfortunately, yeah, they.
You think the Cowboys did well?
Unfortunately, I think they did well. The CeeDee Lamb dropped to them at like 17, and he's supposed to go higher, right? And so they've got a really good receiving core now. I mean, he is a rookie. Like I said, I always have temper my expectations with rookies, but he's a really good receiver that dropped to them. So, I read a couple things, opinion pieces this week that everybody said that they thought that Dallas had one of the best drafts.
Well, you say he's a rookie, but he ain't coming in and being the number 1 wide receiver. That's probably the biggest thing. Like, just to touch bases on the Ravens again, they went and got J.K. Dobbins to play running back. Like we don't have Mark Ingram. They okay. Yeah. See what I'm saying? If you can bring a rookie in and not have to throw everything, say, hey man, you the man from day one.
Yeah.
It's a little easier for him. If you can break them in, I mean, CeeDee Lamb could be number 1 in 2-3 years. You know what I mean? He got that kind of skill. I understand that they just paid my man $100 million. Yeah. I know they gave Amari Cooper $100 million. However, I think this guy is everything Amari is and just a little faster, a little leaner. I think his catch radius is a little better. So, with all those things being said, he ain't got to be Amari Cooper next year. He just got to be a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of the pressure off. I agree with you there. So one of the ones that I looked at and thought had a really weird and probably not a very good draft was Green Bay. So what do you think about them drafting a quarterback at 26, coming
I'm
up
I'm
to grab that?
I'm sick. I'm
Yeah,
sick.
I know you
Oh
are.
my
As a
God, I'm
Bears
sick.
fan, I know
As
you're just
embarrassing. Like, first of all, I don't care what all them so-called experts they think. We got to get Aaron Whippen some more. We got to get Aaron Rodgers some more. Hey, man, Aaron Rodgers is the weapon. If we put me, you, and a bag of chips out there, Aaron Rodgers will throw us open. So I ain't
yes,
trying to hear all that. We got to get, hey, they playing for the future. Aaron Rodgers can't be mad. Didn't this just happen to you, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago?
right,
Didn't they
exactly.
bring you in when Brett Favre still had 2, 3 more
Yeah,
years left? Hey man, he can't go nowhere. He just got to suck it up. I think he like a $51 million cap hit
yeah,
this year. So it ain't like he gonna be traded this year. I think it's maybe 35 next year. Hey man, play out these last 2, 3 years, two
yeah,
maybe. But if it's 3 years and first round picks get a 5 year deal, that fifth year is a fifth year team option, right? So
right.
you looking at they might have to let him go in 3 years because we got to see what dude
Well,
got.
they said Brett Favre said it was either today or yesterday. He said that because of this, well, Rogers appears to be pretty mad. Behind the scenes kind of thing. It
Right.
sounds like he's pretty mad. So Favre doesn't think that he's going to finish his career with Green Bay. He thinks he's
I
going to
agree.
go somewhere. Yeah,
I agree. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I think this is the last year.
yeah,
I just think that, I mean, even though I'm saying Aaron Rodgers is the weapon, you can throw a bag of chips open, but you
yeah.
still want to have a little something on your side. You know what I mean? You
Right.
want to have something.
Well,
But
Aaron is a little sensitive. He's always been a little sensitive to
real sensitive.
criticism, to anything else. He's a little sensitive. So it's not like you can go your whole career without them drafting a quarterback because you have been hurt, dude. I mean, you've had, they have had to have backups for you that can come in and do something. So you can't be mad when they draft a quarterback. I think he got mad because they traded up into the first round to get
Gave
this
away
guy.
picks. I get it.
Yes.
They gave away picks to get up. So that means you have less picks to get wide receivers. Now, if he just really want to make a complaint, it's supposed to be the wide receiver draft. I don't think they drafted none of note anyway. So I see his point after the draft
Yeah.
because I wouldn't have said nothing until the whole draft complete. Let me see what else we got. Maybe it might take a camp if there is a camp. Maybe we need to go to camp and see if we got some players here that can catch the ball. You don't know who improved off the team last year. You still got Devontae Adams. So it ain't like you ain't got nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He not completely bare. Yes, we still have Devontae Adams. So I ain't trying to hear all that, man. I'm upset because I'm a Bears fan and they just drafted another quarterback. I got to deal with 15 more years. 15, at least 3 with 2 more, maybe 2 with Aaron, and then 12 with yeah, man, that's another 15 years with a legit
But
quarterback. And I still got Mitch on my doggone roster.
so you think this guy's going to be that good? You think he's going to stick around for 12 years?
So I'm gonna tell you what they did.
Okay.
This is why people was all like, "Oh, Jordan Love's the guy." He's like Mahomes light. Now that's high praise. I know Mahomes only 3 years, but he has got that Super Bowl ring, right?
Yeah.
He Mahomes light. They enamored with the fact that he can throw from all kinds of angles and put, you know what I mean? He still got a little bit of accuracy issues. I get it. His quarterback and his coach and his offensive line, everybody was gone and he had to come. He was the only one back. And so it looks like he did too much in that last year or try to put it all on himself. You know how I feel about when you try. I'm not mad at them for saying we might need a little Patrick Holmes in our lives, but this is it's Patrick Holmes coming from Utah State, not Utah. If it had been Utah, I'd have been like, yeah, this is the guy. I'm worried because the Packers usually and they ain't made a mistaken quarterback in 25 years, so that's
Yeah.
what makes me concerned. I would have loved to see them take a high-profile wide receiver myself because I think my Bears defense reloaded. We good to go.
Right.
But
Wait,
another quarterback,
I'm thinking, is Don Mikowski longer than 25 years ago?
hey man, that dude was over the line, brother. don't,
All right. So,
don't give me
okay,
stuff. That dude was over the line.
outside of Green Bay, I mean, who do you think that had a bad draft? Do you think there's anybody that you can say, hey, man, that their guy wasn't thinking?
You know,
No.
probably my team, man.
I took
I
another
don't know.
tight end.
Man, I don't care about all that, man. Like, he took another tight end, so it was okay to take another tight end.
Okay.
We got 10 tight ends on the roster. Guess how many gonna actually be on the roster?
2, maybe 3.
2, maybe 3. So why people are trying, it's good TV, I guess, on the Bears go up 10 the tight end. He was the best tight end.
You're probably going to trade for OJ or OJ Howard or.
Why would we trade for OJ Howard now? We got a young tight end and an old tight end. That's all you need.
So you can have an entire offensive line that's tight ends.
Man, get on up out of here with that. And I think the biggest part or the biggest thing that surprised me about the draft is all them fat tight ends. I ain't talking about the one we got. I'm talking about the offensive linemen that's out there. They tight ends playing offensive linemen. It's like 4 of them cats 350 out there running 4'8", 4'9", 5 flat, 5'1". Them dudes are tight ends. They just too damn fat. If they lost 40, 60, 50 pounds, because the one kid I think was 340, man, he might have to lose 70 pounds. But imagine if you 340 pounds and you could run a 5 flat, what could you have run if you were 285?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he ran 285, he might have been a top 5 pick.
Well, we might see some of those guys catching passes every once in a while. I love when the linemen catch passes. That's pretty cool.
They do all the dirty work anyway. They might as well get a little love.
Absolutely. So are you happy with the Bears draft or no?
Man, I give them a C+. I mean, I ain't happy, but I ain't say it is what it is. Yes. I take it all back. I am very ecstatic because with the number 17, 19 pick, we picked Khalil Mack. That's what we did. The bottom line is I'm still rather have Khalil Mack than whoever we would have picked in the first round. So yeah, ultimately I'm still ecstatic. And I like that they put the brother on the team, undrafted. They signed him out of Buffalo. Anything to make Khalil happy, baby. Yeah. That's what we gotta do. Like, you don't want to practice today, Khalil? Take the day off. You and your brother, y'all go over to y'all go gambling or something. Hey man, whatever makes that brother happy, they need to do it. But I mean, the kid do got a little bit of skill. He did have 11.5 sacks. I don't know why he ain't getting no look. It is what it is. He on the Bears now. Who better to teach you than your big brother?
Yeah. Who's the best in the NFL?
Who's the best in the NFL?
That's right. So I got to say, I wasn't displeased with the Panthers draft. I did say last week, hey, defense, and they took defense. They took 7 players. They had 7 defensive, which is the first time. Right. So yeah, I mean, we took the defensive end? What's his name? I forgot it already. That's how much. But anyway, I wanted Isaiah Simmons. We didn't take Isaiah Simmons. I'm not sure why they decided to take the defensive end out of Auburn. But what?
Because he don't have a position. So like I don't know what position.
I love guys that don't have a position. That means they can play more than one. They're very.
I like them. I like them but you got to teach him. First of all, it's the NFL. They coach you up, but they still want you to have. He don't have a position. We got to pick a position regardless of what. Isaiah Simmons, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at 240, he probably could just be the world's best strong safety.
Yeah.
Because what we're really talking about in a strong safety position, sometimes they have to come down into the box.
Yeah.
And play some linebacker.
And that's
we already know. But
whatever they decide to play him, I was okay.
He lined up in the slot. He played on the slot receivers more times than any other position and he looks like he's playing outside linebacker, but he's out there in front of that slot receiver all the time. So now we say, hey, man, you're not a third down slot cover guy who always on the field. We're saying, what position are you really? So I think that position versatility is absolutely the bomb on offense.
Yeah.
I think when you're playing if you could play defensive tackle and a little bit of defensive end, but I think ultimately I ain't gonna never knock a man for because he could do several things.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue is they gotta teach him one position. I'm not sure if this coach wanted to break it all the way down.
Hold up. You're talking about him way too much for a player that's not mine. I was just saying that's who I would have taken. I thought we could have done something with him and his versatility. But Derek, I'm not unhappy with Derek Brown because our run defense last year was terrible.
And what do you need on offense?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
No. You don't need a whole lot. I believe in Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I believe in Teddy
Bridgewater. When you design the offense for him, yeah. I mean, that's what they did in New Orleans. You talked about it last year. It's like, he came in in that first game and looked terrible because they had to design the plays for him. So, correct. But you're right. I think he's going to be okay. I did like Josh Allen. Like I said, I'm sorry to see him go. I thought for a first-year starter, he did okay. Not fantastic, not terrible, but okay. And you could build on that. But Teddy B has been around a while, and this is going to be his probably first shot since Minnesota to take the helm of a team and see what he can do with it.
You say you think he's going to be all right. I think he's going to be borderline Pro Bowl.
Okay. I hope you're right.
I think Teddy Bridgewater is that good. Okay. I mean, and he throwing to Weapon X, so he gonna be all right, brother.
Yeah.
That's McCaffrey. I renamed him because he ain't got no nickname. When you could play, when you the White Marshall Fault, you ought to get a nickname better than the White Marshall Fault. I'm calling him Weapon X. That's who he is. Weapon X.
I'll take it.
Wide receiver, slot receiver, play a little quarterback. Hey, man, the dude do it all. And they gave him $16 million to do it. Teddy, listen, Teddy, Teddy will probably never see this show. But if you listen to me, if you get in trouble, throw it over there to McCaffrey. Weapon X will take care of
you. That's right. So, also, Tua Tagovailoa went to the Dolphins like we expected he probably would. So, that's
what we didn't expect is for the Dolphins played this. Man, they played poker and came out with all the chips, brother. They stayed at 5. What did I say? They made me look stupid. Somebody coming up to 3. If you just go back, if you listen to the first show, somebody coming up. They just let the draft fall to them. I think they were happy. I think they would have been okay if they had to take Herbert there. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
The kid out of Oregon. I don't know if I said the name right.
No, Justin Herbert.
If they had to take him, I think they would have been okay with it. But once he falls to 5, we got 3 first-round picks. I didn't have to give up none of my other picks. I could select all of these. They ain't have no choice. And I'm already on record for saying whoever gets to her wins this draft.
Yeah.
It's over. Hey, I looked at the Dolphins roster, man. They putting it together. I'm like, hey, man,
they sure took it apart first.
But they have a plan. Like most people tear down, Dave ain't got a plan. If you look at it, what they did, who they let go, and would you like to have Laramie Tunsil? Sure. But they sure did not. Didn't they pick up 2 tackles in the draft? Yeah, man, we gonna protect you to it. We got you. Yeah. Y'all can all develop. Listen, when I looked at the 2 tackles and 2, I was saying to myself, one of y'all ain't gonna be here in 5 years. Because I can't pay all 3 of them. If your right tackle is the bone, if your right tackle is the bone, and your left tackle is the bone, and your quarterback is, you can't play all 3 of them cats. One of them ain't gonna be there. My guess is whoever playing right tackle. Ooh, excuse me, left tackle, because Tua is left-handed, so the left tackle is the guy who won't be there.
Yeah. Speaking of Justin Herbert, so he went to the Chargers. So you still think, because I'm gonna write this down. You still think Cam is going to the Chargers?
Whoa, Cam! Going to Man, Patriots.
Patriots.
I flipped.
Oh,
I see
okay.
Cam in a Patriots
Well, you
uniform
know what?
now.
I'm
It
not gonna
ain't.
call. I'm not gonna call this a flip yet because the season hasn't started. So I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you get away with it. We're only the third show in.
I'm going not because of Justin Herbert. I believe that was still the plan. It's just something inside me after I watched Bill. That's what happened. I watched Bill draft, and
Yeah.
he didn't take one quarterback.
They
Not one.
Stidham. Who is that guy? That's
Man,
the name of the guy. Tell me
Jared
about
Stidham,
him because I know nothing about him.
Baylor Bears.
I hadn't heard his name before 3 weeks ago.
Jared Stidham started at Baylor. He's a good Texas boy. Started down there at Baylor Bears. He lit it up for a little bit, but his Christianity, he's like, oh, I don't want to be over here with the criminals. So he pulled up and went to Auburn.
Okay.
And he played over there with Auburn a little bit. And so now he with wait. Wrong. That was the wrong guy. But that guy's coming in. Jared Stidham. I'm confusing all the Baylor quarterbacks. They
I
all
know.
look the same to me. Can't none of them play since really RG3. That's a whole nother story for another day. But
Yeah.
Jared Stidham did go to Baylor. I was thinking of the guy that's left Baylor now, just the quarterback that was there now. He played at Baylor as well too. My bad. But Jared Stidham, all right. He's a good backup. But
yeah. But I was thinking, like, this guy's surely not going to start for the NFL team for 16 games, man. I'm surely. But
whoa.
14 games, whatever you want to say,
Whoa. Jared Stidham and Bill Belichick. Yes, I believe in that
Well,
combination.
you're right. Matt Castle started that. Right.
That's what I'm talking about. I believe in Jared Stidham
Fair enough.
with Bill Belichick. Absolutely. I'm just saying, once I realized that Bill ain't taking no quarterbacks, Bill got a plan. I don't know if that plan is going to be Cam. I don't know if that plan is I'm going to trade for Andy Dalton. Bill got a plan because I don't see no reason why that man didn't take a quarterback.
Dalton might not be a bad idea for them. Yeah, I can see that. I can see Dalton going there
On
too.
the Bengals, I ain't trade.
Yeah.
For the Bengals, I wouldn't trade.
No, why?
I let him play one more year.
They're garbage anyway. Why not get something of value for a guy who's been pretty decent?
But that means I gotta play the rookie.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hey, I like Joe Burrow, but he ain't Tua Tagovailoa. I don't believe in Burrow like anybody else. What did I say a couple shows ago? You still going to Cincinnati?
Sink or swim, brother. Sink or swim. So, all right. So Jalen Hurts went to Philadelphia. So I can see them using him kind of like they used Taysom Hill in New Orleans, man. Just kind of like some Wildcat stuff or.
Agreed. There ain't really no discussion on that.
No.
I think that's the only option they got. He's the second coming of Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
I was to be picked in the second round when some people don't really know if you're a quarterback or not. I mean, if he'd had to come out of Alabama and just, if he was still at Alabama and had to come out, he'd be in the fifth round.
Yeah.
Maybe in the fourth round. Going to Oklahoma.
It did a lot of good.
It did a lot of good for him. So to be picked in the second round, even though there's a quarterback that it's good for his pocketbook. I don't know how good it is for Philly, but it's damn sure good for Duke.
Well, if Wentz gets hurt again, he's got a chance to. I mean, he's always stepped up when he needed to, Jalen Hurts. So if Wentz gets hurt again, he's there and can take the reins. I mean, he's got some maturity. I mean, 5 years, in college. So
I'm gonna say this about Hurts. I think he's a football player. I don't know if he's a quarterback. Now, I think he's, better than Tim Tebow, but that's really who he is.
Oh, he's a lot better than Tim Tebow.
We gonna see, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, being picked in the second round is good for his pocketbook until they start putting him in the slot. Because we want to have two quarterbacks on the field. Maybe we'll throw it to you and you have to throw it down the field. Pitch it to you and maybe you throw it down the field. We'll see. He might not be happy with that long term. Just like Taysom Hill is really not ecstatic about his role. He said he think he could be a starter in this high level starter in this man's NFL, and I don't see it, and I don't necessarily see it with Jalen Hurts either. If Jalen Hurts can do, if he could do the Chase Daniel thing, if he could just sit on the bench for 10 years, I think he could do that. I think he can come in 2-3 games and win all three and go back to the bench. I don't think he's a 16-game starter.
Do you think Jalen Hurts is better than Taysom Hill?
If I had the choice, I would take Jalen Hurts because I no disrespect to Taysom Hill. This dude works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His workouts.
Taysom works. I love me some Taysom Hill, dude.
I don't like people. He talk too much. You know what I mean? Like
I've never heard him talk, so.
And this is a new thing. I ain't never heard him talk much, but all of a sudden, him, he just say it with his chest, just a little too. I like it when they say it with their chest, but not when you play quarterback because people will hit you in your chest. You know what I mean? Like when people say, "Hey Taysom, you think you can be a full-time?" Yes, I think I'm a high caliber star. No, man, you don't say. You say if I get my opportunity, I'm gonna show y'all that. You know what I mean? He said it like he just stuck the chest way out there. Hey man, that's too much like Draymond Green shit for me. I can't stand that. Step back, play. Hey, you know what? You remember what I used to tell the kids when we coached?
What?
Know your role.
Oh yeah, know
your role until you can change your role. Man, you can't come out here and act like you Drew Brees when you ain't done nothing.
He has done some stuff, man. He's played
a little tiny bit.
Some pivotal roles in the pivotal games. He's been important in that offense. You can't say he hasn't been important. You're right. He makes the plays when he's asked to make the plays.
And he made more plays as a runner than he did as a passer.
He made a few as a passer and a receiver.
Okay, let me just ask you this. My man, the Black Dan Marino, at least that's who I thought he was, just signed with the Saints today. I think he just finalized it today, right?
1 year deal.
Who gonna be who coming in to play quarterback if Drew got to sit out 2 games?
They're probably gonna split it like they did last time.
Ain't gonna be no split. It's Jameis Winston. And I love Jameis Winston to say, hey, I could have went 1 or 2 other places that would have paid me a little bit more. He said this man always he said I was 12 years old. I asked Drew Brees for an autograph. He said I always was able to call him. He said I can't do nothing but get better. Jameis out there with the humility. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
No.
He quoting Bible verses, talking about being humble before honor or something, whatever it was. I'm like,
Did he read out "Thou shalt not steal crab legs"?
Hey man, why you got to be like that? and like, why white people always bringing up stuff? That's Why you bringing that up?
Don't pretend like it didn't happen. I don't really care about it. I just think it's funny that it's. I think it's funny that it's crab legs.
He ain't still no crab legs, man. Shoot, we used to get. See, you ain't never been a high level athlete.
Okay.
Like, so my point is you get free stuff sometimes. So let me just say this. I was good enough to get free shoes. So I probably could have went to Florida State. Free shoes university, remember that? But my coach called me down in high school. Nobody in the brotherhood know this story. Right? So if they happen to listen, they're gonna be like, damn. Like, I didn't get nothing free. Maybe they did. Maybe Coach.
Yeah, maybe you just don't know.
Maybe I don't know, right? Coach called me down out of class. I'm like, man, what's going on? I was a junior. And at the time as a junior, man, we had some real dogs in front of me. I set the bench quiet. Because like them cats was faster than me. They had all the fast twitch muscle fibers you could possibly have. Hey man, I ain't had nothing to say. I just played my role. Right? Until I could change my role. So coach calls me down. He saw me in practice, I'm from the projects, I think I had some duct tape still holding my cleats together, right? Coach saw me, he said, what size is them? I said, 10, coach. And then he just ran off 2 weeks later. Calls me down. I'm in class. He sends for me like he the dean or something, sent a slip. Anyway, I come down there. Coach looks at me like this. How you doing, Ray? I'm good, coach. What's up? Class is going good? Yeah, coach, what's up? And he was like, oh, okay. And then he steps out the office, and he had a towel sitting on some shit, and he just pulls the towel up and walks away. There was my brand new Nike cleats, high top. He like, and I'm like, I think Coach want me to take these shoes. I took the shoes up. I came to practice that day. I got to practice, and Coach just looked at me and said, "Nice shoes." Kept going. That was it. That was it. So I got free shoes. So I'm saying I was good enough at one time to get some free shoes. Jameis had the same problem with the crab leg. If you used to going somewhere and people giving you stuff free, the one security guard that don't know what the deal is, stop you. Hey man, come on, man. I ain't trying to hear that, man.
No.
When you good, you get free shit. That's how it works.
You better make sure somebody says first that gives you the nod or the wink or the whatever that says, yeah, it's cool to take that. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. When you good, you get free stuff, brother.
All right. So I think we covered the NFL. I will say that your guy Gettleman, you were talking about the New York Giants last week. Gettleman, he did a pretty good job. He spread it around, took a couple of offensive tackles, I think a safety and a cornerback, but he spread it around, a lineman, a defensive end, a couple of edge rushers. So he spread it around, and
he passed.
Yeah, he did a pretty decent job, I think, in his draft.
He passed on what most people believe was the best tackle. He passed on Becton from Louisiana, right?
Yeah, but he got Chase Young. Oh no, that's Washington. My bad. I'm sorry.
That's why. And players mess up. Anyway, he passed on what most people was the best tackle and took one. And all I could say was, this might be that film thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Becton is a big boy. He is extremely athletic to have so much jelly in his belly. But that belly might get bigger now that I got $5, $6, $8, $7 million in my pocket. I might eat my way out the league. He saw something. He saw something that made him say, "Let me pick this other dude." But we'll see. We'll see what I would have picked Becton. But what I said was the dude is a film guy. He just loved to get deep in the film. So he saw something that said, this is the guy, not that the guy. But other than that, I can't question anything else he did.
Yeah. I got to say, with the way the drafts went and with my man Ron Rivera coaching in Washington now, I'm a little bit more interested in the NFC East this year. So we'll see how that goes. I hope these guys finally get good enough to beat the crap out of the Cowboys.
With that new receiver, that three wide receivers that I don't know nobody else in the NFC East could cover, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see. All right. So, anything else in the NFL?
No, I think it's covered. I think it's covered. I think it's covered like Dion out on the island by itself, kind of covered.
Dion Island, yeah. All right. So let's move on. How about some basketball? Where do you want to start there? We had a discussion this week about your buddy Draymond Green.
Man, I'm sick of Draymond. I don't even know why you even bring this up. And it's getting worse every day.
So listen to you do this.
This mother, he's out there talking about we changed the game. We ain't no we in this Draymond. They could have won this with a different role player who might. Draymond might be the best role player of all time.
The luckiest.
Still a role player.
Luckiest role player.
Whatever it might be. I'm not saying the dude can't ball. But his level of ball is the only thing greater is his mouth. Yeah. Man, hold that down, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear from you, man. You still Draymond Green, role player.
He said two things this week. Now, we had a disagreement about whether or not we think he's a star. I think he's a star. He does a lot. Just wait. He plays great defense. He rebounds. He passes well. He's an energy guy. He plays, does a lot of that stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheets. But he said two things this week that were just two of the dumbest things I've ever heard somebody say.
So you're on my side now. You're on my side. I got to get it. Let me make sure I hear this.
No, you said you didn't think he was a star. I think he is a star. He's not a superstar, but he is a star. And
tell me, okay. I'm gonna let you finish, and then I want you to answer my question.
Okay, all right. So the first thing he said was that he's the greatest screener ever, the best ever at setting picks. So that is like somebody saying, I am the best ever at standing still. Nobody can beat me at it. There's nobody who's ever been better at standing. It sounds like something Donald Trump would say. I'm the, I'm the best ever at standing behind a podium.
Right. I'm the best at getting in the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm the best ever at standing still. That's just stupid.
What's the second thing?
The second thing was him talking about Charles Barkley. So,
and he can't hold Charles Barkley.
No,
Charles Barkley's 6'4". You 2 inches taller than Charles.
That's right.
You 2 inches taller than Charles. You have yet to amass the rebounds.
Yes.
Or the point. You ain't gonna never get the point. That's my whole point about him. You can't be a star. The NBA pay you for buckets. They don't pay you all that other stuff.
So at 6'4.5", playing in the NBA,
that's generous.
Barkley averaged 23 points and 11 rebounds for a career, and that's when he played the last two seasons hobbling. So
I think only 6 people have done that.
Yeah.
23 and 11.
So don't compare yourself to Charles Barkley. So in case people out there don't know, before Dirk came on the scene, Charles Barkley was my favorite basketball player of all time, and he's still there with Dirk. So I actually have like 3 of his rookie cards, from like 1984. But even if I weren't this big a fan of Charles Barkley, that's still some really dumb stuff to say. You are not in his league, not even close.
I don't care how many rings you get, you'll never be as good as Charles Barkley.
That's correct. So, and Barkley carried a team to the NBA Finals with no Hall of Famers on that team with him. He had Thunder Dan, and he had Danny Ainge and Frank Johnson.
And Kevin Johnson.
Frank Johnson. Frank Johnson actually was on that team too, I think.
Frank Johnson came off the bench.
You're right. So,
but Kevin
Johnson's the one.
He might be a Hall of Famer. Kevin Johnson. I thought he was in, but maybe in.
Maybe not. You might be right, but the team was not the caliber that Draymond's playing with. And Barkley ran into who?
Jordan.
That's right.
Jordan. So if Draymond wanted to make his claim, you would have beat LeBron.
Yeah.
You would have beat LeBron. I know your team was hobbled, but it's not like you didn't play with KD before.
Playing with 3 Hall of Famers.
Again, I'm gonna say this. This is my biggest issue with Draymond. When it's your time to shine, when you're put in the position of number 2, all you do is give us number 2. That's it. That's all, bro. When Clay was out, and I get it, you were the number 1 option. You couldn't even score 25. And then all of a sudden your arm hurt. Man, your arm ain't hurt, your pride hurt, but your mouth still flapping. So I ain't trying to hear that, bro. I ain't trying to hear that. Draymond Green ain't no star. I will need you to name 4 or 5 other people that you say is a star in the same terms that is a star with Draymond.
Dennis Rodman.
Next.
No, why not? Why no?
Because Dennis Rodman, I know you've seen The Last Dance, which, by the way, is boring.
I saw the first 2 episodes, and that's all.
I saw 3 and 4 just because, I got to do this show and just in case it might come up.
Right.
Boring. But Dennis Rodman might be the best on-ball defender in the history of the NBA. Right? I mean, and Scottie Pippen might be 2. They might be 1 and 2. But, again,
Mike was pretty good as well.
He don't rebound the way Dennis rebounds.
Nobody rebounds the way Dennis rebounds.
So how they gonna
Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace 6'9". So you brought up Dennis Rodman as a comparison. They both 6'6", and I'm saying you tell me when Draymond led the league in rebound. You tell me when Draymond ain't never gonna be top 3 defensive player of the year. He ain't there consistently.
He's top
year
10.
after year after year. I ain't seen Draymond defend no 7-footers in the paint. Now we ain't got a whole lot of 7-footers like they play in the paint right now, so we gonna maybe let them slide on that. but he ain't in the class of Dennis Rodman. And I was looking, I thought, man, and second of all, ain't no way in hell he could have played in the 90s. He might not never get off the bench. Never. I wish he would have tried some trash like that with Bill Laimbeer. He'd have lost all them teeth. He'd be out there like that. He ain't that tough, man. That boy ain't that tough. He tough, but he ain't that tough. No, but give me another comparison. Ain't no Dennis Rodman. That ain't no good comparison.
Well, then Ben Wallace, he's not getting, like I said, he's not getting as many rebounds, but he's getting the assists. He's playing the defense. He's getting the steals. He led the league in steals one year, man. Come on.
I'm gonna tell you who I compare him to.
Who you compare him to?
Tony Kukoc. You just a scrub. You just like 2 or 3 levels above scrub. You earn your money. You earn your paycheck. Can't nobody really call you a buster. But when it's time to shine, you ain't there. When we say, can you give me 25? Can you give me 20 and 8 rebounds and 6 assists consistently?
He doesn't get the shots, man. Come on.
He did have them this year.
No,
he had all the shots he could have ever wanted to take this year. He's still punked out. I ain't trying to hear that. That's too much.
I ain't trying to hear that either. Because look, man, you think that they want Draymond shooting you? No, they're checking everybody out. Who's not named Clay and who's not named Steph.
He didn't have no Clay or no Steph, and I'm saying, so who left? If you sit here, my point is, you kept saying we. I can show you quotes where this cat said, "We 3 kings."
I'm not even talking about. You
ain't no damn king. You ain't even a prince. You a stinking jester. That's what he is. He has a role in the king's court.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
But he ain't no king or no doggone prince.
I didn't say any of that.
He might be a princess.
I said zero of that. Okay, that's fine.
I'm saying.
But he is still a star.
A star in his mama's eyes. Next.
He gets paid like a star. He gets the endorsements like a star. Yeah, he's a star. You don't like him. I don't like him either, but he is a star.
I don't like his mouth.
All right.
His mouth makes his game less. That's what I'm saying. Let your game speak. How many times we don't hear Steph Curry? See, when you're good, you don't have to say shh. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry don't tell people how good he is. Everybody else tells Steph how good he is. That's what I'm saying. And Draymond know better, man. Draymond know better. He know if he go home right now to the hood, if he's from the hood, he know that ain't gonna fly.
That's gonna happen though. Listen, you make it to the NBA. If you make it to the NBA, people have told you all of your life how good you are. You know that he's heard that. You know when he goes back to Michigan State, they all talk to him, "Oh man, you're awesome, man. You're awesome." They all hear that. So yes, he hears that, just like Clay hears that, and it's probably gone to his head. He is not as good as he thinks he is. I will give you that. He is not as good as he thinks he is in his own mind. But he is good. He does a lot of things on the court. Steph don't play defense, man. You know that's true. So Dre's out there playing defense. Clay plays defense.
My point is, Clay don't have to tell you how good he is. Steph Curry doesn't have to tell you how good he is.
It's a personality trait.
KD doesn't have to tell you how good he is.
It's a personality trait. They're more reserved than other people. It's just
Michael Jordan doesn't tell. He's not reserved. Michael Jordan doesn't tell you how good he is. Ben Wallace, you say Ben Wallace is comparable? Ben Wallace doesn't tell you how good he is. He let his game.
I ain't heard from Ben Wallace in years, so you know.
Dennis Rodman.
He doesn't call me anymore.
Dennis Rodman told you about his party lifestyle. He told, "Oh man, I love the party," but he didn't tell you about his game.
Oh, he did. He did tell you about his game. Yeah, he did. Rodman did. Yes, he did.
He just might squeeze Karl Malone on the booty or something, but he didn't really talk about his game.
He talked about he's the best rebounder and all this other kind of stuff. He was right.
During his career?
Yeah.
During his career?
I remember talking about stuff.
At the end. You mean at the end, when he was on the Bulls? Because he ain't never said nothing at Detroit.
He was still playing. That's all I know.
He was the same player. He got a little better at rebounding, but he didn't say nothing.
Yeah, he said plenty. He said plenty. I'll Google it and find you some YouTube examples of him talking about how good he is.
Yeah, tell me, and make sure you note what year it was too.
Okay.
Right?
Doesn't matter what year it was to me. He was still playing.
He was old. When you get old, you sometimes have to remember people. Man, I was just on the court the other. I was on the court the other day playing with some kid, and I let one go and went in. Swish. I just screamed out, "Google me!" Now it's gonna have a hard time. They gonna have a hard time trying to figure out who I am because they ain't like they know my name,
Yeah.
but they ain't gonna pull up nothing either. But
Wait,
it
wait.
sounded good and it looked good. That's
I'm a
something you
Google.
do later in life. At the end of your career, you have to remind people that you was good.
Hang on.
Not in
I got this computer right here. I'm gonna Google you. Fat old black guy. Nothing's
hey
coming
man,
up.
hey, you can't just say fat. You gotta say fat and sexy, big and sexy. Don't
Yeah,
just say fat.
I can't say
It's
that.
hard. It's hard work making this much man be this much beautiful. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
All right then. I'll let you have that. All right. So NBA says they're talking about open practices on May 8th. So I think they were supposed to do it this weekend and then moved it back another week. So by the time we get there, who knows? They might move it back another week.
Right.
Uh, I, even if they do start practices, I mean, do you know how much time they're expecting before they can actually start playing
I
games?
don't know. I know that they NBA players, right? A dude told me a long time ago, I was like 9, 10, 11 years old. He told me, hey, if you a baller, it don't matter. The ball don't matter. You can give me a ball with some titties on it. Y'all might not know about that. You know, but the ball when you dribbling it, he said, if you a baller, it don't matter. So I'm saying, let's put some mask on everybody. Put some gloves on and let's
Yeah.
go play, man. I'm tired of being in the house and
Yeah.
having to watch the last day. I'm tired of watching reruns. So NBA, y'all come on back, man. Y'all come on back. Let's do the baseball. I'm ready for some baseball, man. I usually don't watch baseball till
Even
July 4th.
even there, yeah.
But
So
y'all, hey, I'm ready for the sports. I was never a true believer in this pandemic. I say follow the money. Somebody making money off of this. If it's just people who make rubber gloves, all I'm saying is it's time. Let's bring it back. We don't need no fans in the stand. We don't
yeah.
need that. We need listen.
Yeah,
You
we can
make
all
more.
watch it on TV. Yeah, absolutely.
The NFL draft was the highest rated. Was it a 50% or some weird
Yeah.
number like that? I know it was a high number, maybe not 50%, but we ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
We ain't got nothing else to do. Thank
They
God
said
for Dana White because I know he gonna put a fight on soon.
well they're still playing baseball in Taiwan with nobody in the crowds, and that's going pretty well. They're getting great TV ratings. So yeah,
Sure,
absolutely. Yeah.
let's do it.
So what do you think the over under is if they think they're going to have an NBA season? What do you think the over under is on when they're going to have the NBA draft? I bet it's not going to be before July 4th.
I think it's just why they got to stop anything, man. You know how many people in the NBA office ain't doing a
But,
dog
but because
drive.
they
Drive
won't
need to
have the
be
order, but they won't have the order because the season's not finished.
taken order.
Yeah, they're not going to.
The season is finished,
But
Dane.
well, it's finished. Yeah, right now, but they're talking. They still want to play games. See, Adam
Ain't
Silver is a little bit delusional, talking about we're still going to finish this season and blah blah. You and I don't think that's going to happen. But if he is going to finish the season, they have to move the NBA draft because they won't have a true draft order. All that stuff could change depending on who wins and
I'm
loses.
saying you haven't. Well, that's because you and I have different philosophy on what's coming back. I'm saying they're gonna play 3 to 5 games and hit the playoffs. And I'm saying these 3 to 5 games, that ain't gonna matter. Them scrubby teams, they still in the
They will.
lottery. They in the lottery, and you know
But
the
yeah,
lottery. But hold up. Now it's like top 3. Like it ain't. You know what I mean? They doing the draft differently, right? So I'm saying none of that matters. Them same scrubby teams, they gonna all be in the lottery anyway.
but
Your
it does
chance.
matter because you know why at the end of the season there's always like 3 or 4 teams that are within a game of getting into the playoffs or being in the lottery. And
Yeah,
if they play 5 more games, that can change a long way. And you
who
know the
eight?
drop
Right?
off from like
Who
the
eight
player
right now?
who
Tell me who 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm telling you right now,
I don't know
man,
off the top of my head, but
ain't nobody trying to watch the Sacramento
I got
Kings.
Google right here. Let's find out.
They ain't make. Listen, man, we ain't trying to hear nothing from the Sacramento Kings, brother.
It
I
doesn't
like
matter.
I I like Fox and everything, but listen. Even if they won their last 5 games and got in, I still wouldn't be trying to watch it. So they need to go on back to the lottery too.
All right.
Ain't nobody trying to get up.
In the East, there's 6 teams within 3 games of each other. That can
Okay, where
change.
they at right now? Where they at right now?
What do you mean, where they at?
Whoever's in right now, that's who's in. We just playing these games for.
I'm not talking about who's being in the playoffs. I'm talking about your draft order.
And you're not hearing me, brother. Wherever we at right now, that's it.
Yeah, they won't do that.
I'm saying you should. We playing 3 to 5 games for grins and giggles and to get ready for the playoffs. Whoever the top 8 is at right now, y'all the ones in the playoffs. We don't care about we had a half game, but we had 5 games to play. Don't matter. You should have won them other games early in the year. Don't matter. You out now. You in the lottery. That's it.
It matters. It matters as far as how many lottery balls you get. It matters.
But I'm saying, but now they're doing it. It's the top 3, Dave. The top 3 teams have the same chance as the top 1. So I'm saying now that we, especially now that we doing that, it make more sense. Screw all them.
It doesn't, because you know what was it?
Now you gonna suck tomorrow.
A few years ago. A few years ago, didn't the guy with like the number 9 probability of getting the number 1 pick got the number 1 pick? So yeah, it matters how many ping pong balls are in there.
But see, now you're making my argument for me. My point is, if you suck right now and you are not in the playoffs, you have a better chance of getting the number 1 pick than you did 2-3 years ago, because the top 3 teams all have an equal amount of balls.
But if you got 5 more games and you lose all 5 games and somebody else wins all those 5 games, then you have more lottery ping pong balls and more chance to get that number 1 pick. It matters to those guys. The percentages matter.
You should have started tanking on day 1 then. I'm not trying to hear that. You suck and you sorry. You go to the line.
So what?
Whatever you get. And listen, who coming out this good anyway? Ain't about 5 players. So you gonna, if you ain't, no, dog. Them teams ain't good enough now. They ain't gonna be good enough later. If you suck now,
it doesn't matter if you're good. I'm talking about percentage of getting the number 1 pick. That matters.
You know what matters? Picking the right player. There's a dude out there. It's a dude out there right now that we don't know nothing about. They need to get an NFL mentality. There's a kid on the corner of 95th and Halsted in Chicago right now. Could ball out. Go find him. You ain't even got to draft him. You can undraft somebody, man. Come on, man. These people out here that can ball. I ain't trying to hear it. You ain't even got to build a team through the draft, man.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It matters. You know the New Orleans Pelicans did not have the best chance to get the number 1 pick when they took Zion Williamson. So those extra ping pong balls mattered because they ended up with Zion Williamson and not Dante DiVincenzo, even though he's in a different draft. You see the point.
You just made my argument, Dave.
I did not.
They wasn't in that bottom 3, bro.
I know they weren't.
My point is, they didn't need
extra ping
pong ball. They didn't need the extra ping pong ball.
They got extra ping pong balls by losing extra games. By losing extra games.
They just missed the playoffs. They had Anthony Davis. They just missed the playoff.
And that mattered. And that mattered.
You ain't listening.
I am listening. What you're saying is not making sense. You're saying go ahead.
They had almost the least amount of ping pong balls you could have. And they still got the number 1 pick.
Because they got into the lottery by losing games instead of being in the playoffs.
My point is,
which could happen here.
Wherever you at right now, you suck, go to the lottery.
No. Because
whatever balls you got, that's what you got. You should have had some balls and was playing when you was playing basketball. But since you ain't had no balls then, you don't get no balls now. Go to the lottery.
Right now, if you're in the lottery, if you're in the playoffs and you lose 4 or 5 more games, then you're in the lottery and you have balls that you could possibly get the number 1 pick with. So yes, those few games, they do matter. They do matter.
They're irrelevant.
All right.
Them people are relevant.
It's not irrelevant to those
Right.
teams getting into the lottery by losing
It
games.
is if they don't even know how to damn pick players in the first place. Come on, man.
How do you miss on Zion Williamson? You don't.
I probably would have drafted him, so I'm a different dude. So
Okay.
next.
But you still didn't miss, even if you did. All right. So next. So we did talk about in the first show. We're talking about like the pandemic and what it's doing to sports and the money and all that kind of stuff. But I did hear, and I meant to talk about this last week because you said that they're still going to get that money, and we were going to look it up and say, hey, there's got to be something in there that says, hey, if something big happens, we don't have to pay you all this money. There's got to be out clauses. So the NBA actually has gone to what they're gonna take 25% of salaries. They're withholding those from the players' salaries, and for a clause in the collective bargaining agreement called force majeure, which means like something uncontrollable, like a pandemic. So I would bet now the NBA is doing this, and this is what they're starting with 25%. I don't know if they're holding that for later or if they are holding that and it's like, hey, we can't give this to you at all. We need to recoup some costs, and you guys, that's part of the contract. So
it's an escrow. They
yeah.
put it in escrow.
Okay. So whatever they're going to do with it after that, I don't know. But like I told you before, or we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, is that you said, oh, hey, they're getting all that money anyway. They signed a contract. I said, I bet there's ways. They probably have clauses in those contracts about stuff like this. And that's the NBA one proved to me that there is. So I don't know if other leagues are going to do that, or NFL is going to do that, or Major League Baseball is going to do that. But I would bet that most of the major leagues actually, and probably hockey does too, has some kind of clause in their contracts with collective bargaining that have something in there about that. So just to follow up and talk about something that we did a couple weeks ago.
I don't even care. I mean,
okay. You cared 2 weeks ago.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying they got money. Listen, if you, I don't know what the minimum salary is, right? But whatever it is, I think you should be okay on your minus 25%. First of all, they're not taking a chunk. They're taking a little by little, and they putting in an escrow. And for some strange reason, let's say they hit the whole 25%, we don't have no season, right? Then they got 25%. But if for some reason we get to 20%, they're planning to give whatever back, whatever the percentage ends up. If we ended up with a miss 10% of the season, then you're gonna miss 10% of your salary. Right. That's fine. But I'm saying listen, I gotta get up and go to work to get my money. Why shouldn't they? That's all I'm saying. You ain't work. You didn't work.
Yeah.
You didn't work. Why are we paying you? You ain't work.
Right.
Hey, listen, the guy that's selling hot dogs, get what? He ain't work. He ain't getting paid.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. And I'm saying, if you missing 25% and you a millionaire, you should be in a position to be able to withstand that. That's all I'm saying. Right. I saw Arliss. You remember Arliss?
Yeah, I never watched.
I love Arliss. He sat down with his players. He sat down with his player and he talked about. He's like, all right, we gotta have your mama fund because mama gotta have a house, right? He's like, and then the miscellaneous. You gotta have miscellaneous fund, and then he's like, you gotta have a whole fund. Right? So you got an agent and a CPA and a financial analysis. They supposed to already have this like on lockdown for you. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't feeling sorry for nobody. None of these billionaire owners and none of these millionaire ball players. You missing 25% of your check, you still make 250,000% more than I do. I ain't trying to hear it, player. I ain't trying to hear it. They'll be all right.
I'm not hearing any complaints about it. My point was because we said a couple weeks ago that we didn't know if there was any clauses in the contracts like this, and you were saying, well, that the NBA is going to get that money from ESPN, or so. There was something to that effect. I can't.
Yes, remember. But, I understood the force majeure. I knew that they was getting money, but I'm saying to you, ESPN still paying.
Yeah, see, I bet there's some kind of contract, some sort of clause in those contracts.
But that ain't the same thing. When you come up with that info, I ain't see that yet. Where ESPN.
Oh,
ain't paying the NBA.
This is an example of that. That's all I'm saying. So I would think that it's probably in there as well. That as contracts between the entities of the NBA and ESPN or TNT or whatever, there is probably some language in there like this, like they're doing with the players. And you're right. I haven't seen evidence of it, but I bet it's there. So we'll keep looking for that. Man, the last thing I want to talk about in NBA is I heard this week and I couldn't believe it. The Lakers took $4.6 million of bailout money from the small business loan stuff coming from the government because of the coronavirus pandemic. They are worth $4.4 billion, and they took money from the small business loan. They're going to give it back after the public.
Already been given back, and it had nothing to do with public. Don't tell that lie on the lady.
Whatever.
They gave the money back because
because it was stupid to apply. That's what it was stupid to apply.
It's not stupid to apply.
It is stupid to apply. You are worth $4.4 billion. $4.4 billion.
You got way too much business sense for that. Come on now.
No.
Everybody about to get bailout. Everybody get
I don't care.
Bailout, dude.
Stop yelling, because you're making me yell. But if you are worth $4.4 billion, you do not need to be asking for millions of dollars. You don't need to be doing it. It's wrong. Whatever way you want to look at it, it is wrong. It was stupid of them to do. You should not have even applied for that. It's ridiculous. When you got hair salons and all this kind of, you're taking money from those other people you know aren't going to get it, and you are worth $4.4 billion. Second most in the NBA behind the Knicks, and the Knicks are only worth that much because they got Madison Square Garden. But there is no reason they should have applied for that. None. Zero, zilch. There's no excuse for it. Good, they're giving it back. Whatever reason you say they're giving it back for, that's fine. But they should have never, ever applied for that.
But it wasn't too long ago where the government bailed out banks and bailed out whatever else. Yeah. Those people will work. The difference is you know what the Lakers is worth. I live in Vegas. I'm pretty sure that some of these casinos finna get some bailout money. And I'm saying to you, they got more money than you throwing it on the Lakers, but I'm saying this is just what people do. The only people that ain't getting a damn bailout is the American citizen. They handing out $1,200 checks like it's government cheese. Oh, I wish it was government cheese, because we used to get that every week. But
that sounds terrible.
What, government cheese?
I've heard it tastes terrible.
What? Who told you that?
I don't know. I never had any.
Boy, don't you start on government cheese, boy. The government cheese make the best macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
I'm talking about so good, make you slap your mama and wake your grandmama up out the grave and slap her too. Don't you ever say nothing. The only thing the government has ever done great in their life, this government is passing out the government cheese. Boy, don't you hate on the government cheese.
It's not me. It's not. I'm telling you what I heard. And like Chris Rock did like a bit about it, or somebody like that.
Chris Rock lying. Chris Rock ain't even that damn funny. Don't even pay no attention.
You're right. I don't think Chris Rock is funny at all. I really don't.
That damn funny.
But there's I've heard more than one comedian talk about how bad government cheese tastes.
Yeah, they done.
I never had it, so I don't know.
Hey, Dave, once you get money and you start eating that Gouda, now Gouda is the best of all time, right? But then it's Gouda and then government. That's what I'm saying. If it don't start with a G, it probably ain't great. That's all I'm saying. But when you get money and your grilled cheese now come with Gouda cheese on it, well, you might look at the government cheese and, like, that's no good. I'm just telling you, though, if I get some money and I start eating the Gouda, I'm probably going to hate on the government cheese, too. But right now, I ain't got none.
I never had it, so I don't know.
The government cheese is good. Go to the hood. Somebody still got some.
I'm just going on hearsay. That's all. That's all I can say is that's what I heard. So anyway, going back to your point, you're talking about if you were the Lakers, you would have applied for that money?
Man, can I apply now? It's just good business sense. If somebody gonna give you free money, you apply for it. All I gotta do is fill out this paperwork. Y'all gonna give me some money? Done. Done.
Not when I couldn't do it when I'm taking money away from this hair salon or this waiter or waitress or
some of them cats don't even know how to apply for it.
You're right. Some of them don't. But
So
they
it's just
ran,
gonna sit.
but they,
It's
but
just
they
gonna
ran
sit.
out anyway. It's not. They've already run out. They've run out twice now, or
They,
they ran out. They ran out once, and then they're going to run out again when they. I'm not sure if the other one's passed or not, but they're going to run out because small businesses are all taking it up, like landscape companies, whoever. I mean, people that employ a lot of people. So it's the paycheck protection money is what it is. So, and the Lakers just don't need that. That's all I'm saying. It's going to run out. I'm glad they're giving it back, but man, whoever applied for that, I would have kicked him in the keister and said, man,
say it out loud, David. Just
you
say
guys
it out
are
loud. Say it with your chest. Say it like you Draymond.
what?
I hate you. You can say it.
It's got nothing to do with hating the Lakers.
Ah,
If Mark Cuban had done it, I would have been saying, "What the hell are you thinking, man? You don't need that money. That's ridiculous." Whoever applied for that with the Mavericks, you got to go. You
if they
embarrassed
handing out,
us. No,
if they handing out free money,
no.
I
At
just
this time, when other people can't survive, and you are worth $4.4 billion, man, you just can't be doing it.
I trust the Lakers more than I trust the government anyway. So if the
Okay,
Lakers took $4 million and was handing out lunches, I believe they handed out lunches. If the
but they're
government
not
got
handing out
$4 million,
lunches.
yeah, I don't know. The Lakers do a lot of charitable work,
I'm
brother.
not
Don't
saying they
make me
don't.
research. I'm just saying.
And they can do
It's
all that charity work still without taking that money, when that money could go to a food bank
money.
or something.
I would rather the Lakers have that money
No.
than the government.
Than a
That's all
food,
I'm saying.
you would rather them have it than a food
I
bank?
said the government. I said the
But
government. Don't put words in my mouth.
well, the government's not going to have that money. They're giving it to small businesses.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
they say they are.
that's what, and big businesses like the Lakers because they let them apply. Because
They say they
nobody
say
apparently
they
looked
giving
at
it. They say they.
nobody looked at the net worth of the companies applying for this stuff, or they would have laughed at the Lakers when they saw their application. So anyway, I just think that's ridiculous. But okay, so one thing we didn't talk about with baseball was before. Do you think that the Astros should vacate the World Series title? You think they should have to give that back?
No,
No.
baseball is a game of cheaters. It's already in the game. They steal signs, don't they?
Yeah.
They steal bases, don't they? So you can't get
Stealing
mad.
bases. Oh, that's part of the
No,
rules. You
it's
can't say
stealing.
that's
The
cheating.
word is stealing.
It
You just
doesn't.
got mad
But that's
because
in the rules.
bribe for free money. It's stealing. No, it's in the unwritten. Stealing is stealing. It's
Base,
either right or it's wrong. Don't get mad because they took stealing to a new level. Don't
that's
get mad.
that's
Don't get
ridiculous,
mad.
right?
They
That's
took
ridiculous.
stealing to the highest level of stealing.
No, I'm talking about stealing
I
bases. Did you
just
tell me? Did you just say that stealing bases was part of the same thing as stealing signs? Did you put those in an
yeah,
equivalency? No,
it's stealing.
that's part of the rules.
It ain't stealing. Stealing signs is not in the rule, brother.
Not signs, bases.
If they'd have call it something else, don't say steal. Once you say the word steal, it's all fair and game. I could see how the Astros got there. Well, we steal signs, we steal bases. What's wrong with tipping? Hey man, they just took stealing to the newest and the highest level that you could be. So I ain't mad at them. I'll be mad. You should be mad at the rest of y'all for not trying. That's what y'all did. They tried really, really hard. That's all.
So
No,
let me ask you. Let
giving
me ask
away
you this.
nothing.
Okay, so baseball, the most hallowed thing to them is their records, which all went out of the window during the steroid era. But so they always base themselves. Oh, he's got this record, he's got that record, but which all means nothing now, absolutely zero. So, do you think what the Astros did is worse than what Pete Rose did with the gambling?
I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
I think Joe Jackson should be in. Put my White Sox brother in the Hall of Fame.
I agree with that too.
Joe Jackson, all the Astros, Alex Rodriguez, ain't cheating. That's what stealing is. Put them all in. It's a part of the game. Until you take out racists like Ty Cobb, put them all in. Put them all in. Put them all in.
Yeah. I can see, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't take Ty Cobb out for being a racist because you're a horrible human being. Doesn't mean you didn't get 4,000 hits.
But it's in your bylaws.
Is it? Okay, I haven't read their bylaws, so I don't know.
Part of their criteria about being good.
being good.
That's
Well, shit,
that's
nobody's getting in the Hall of Fame, man. I mean,
that is how they have kept Barry Bonds out because it's part of the criteria. Barry Bonds doesn't have a positive steroid test like A-Rod. So why are you keeping him out? Because part of your criteria says
that's not
part of
why
their criteria.
that's not why they're keeping him out. That's not why they're keeping him out.
I know, but that's what some of them are using the excuse, saying that part of the criteria says you have to be, good. I'm paraphrasing, but I said good. But that's part of the criteria. So, but Ty Cobb's in. So I'm not trying to hear. Listen. Put them all in or take all the rest of these crappy people out.
I don't disagree with that.
I heard that the dude back in the day, he said we used to take greenies. I don't even know what that is. But he said that they were basically uppers. He said like you play a back-to-back. He said you tired. He said they had them out in the bowl like it was M&M's. So, man, you going to take all them cats out? You ain't taking them out. Put them all in. Put them all in.
Mark McGwire's not in there either. So, I don't think they're going to be either because of the steroid era. But Bonds they won't put in anyway just because he was a jerk to all the reporters, and they're the ones that vote on it. So even if he wasn't under suspicion of steroids, he'd probably get in. But they would begrudgingly let him in because he was such an asshole to the reporters, and they just really didn't like that. But you didn't. So what did I say? I don't know. I forgot what I asked you, but
and ain't nothing wrong with it. We can put you in the Hall of Fame.
Was it worse than Pete Rose?
Nothing's. Hey man, Pete Rose is a degenerate gambler. It is what it is. But is it worse? I think it's just equal to.
Okay.
I ain't gonna say it's worse, but they equal to. How about that?
Well, I think it is worse because they're cheating in the game. Pete Rose, I think, was just betting on his team. I don't know that he would ever change any outcome of the game. If he did, he was trying to win every game because Pete Rose did not want to lose. He hated losing.
So, you don't know the phrase degenerate gambling. I don't know what Pete did. I'm just saying.
Right. Like Shoeless Joe, there is no evidence that he tried to change the outcome of a game. He always wanted to win. So I don't see any evidence of that. Whereas with the Astros, we see evidence of, yes, they changed the outcome of a lot of games by doing the things they were doing. So I think the Astros, what they did was worse than what Pete Rose did. But I think they're, it doesn't really, I guess gambling doesn't really bother me. If you're betting on your team, if you're betting against your team, that's fine.
Put them all in because you're not going to take out the people from the past. So put these people in too.
That brings me to my next point. So, because what I think that the Astros did was worse than what Pete Rose did. Pete Rose was banned for life. Cora got suspended for a year. You think that's enough, or you think he should be suspended longer?
I don't think nobody should have been suspended. Baseball need to take a look at themselves. I mean, baseball to me is just one of them games. Because they
celebrate the cheating.
It's always something. Right? The difference is that we have social media. We got people that's out there paying for stories. You see what I'm saying? So back again, we judge in the past against our present. And in the past, it was just easier to hide. So, and all I'm saying is we knew about the amphetamines, the greenies. What else was you doing? You see what I'm saying? What else was y'all doing we just don't know about?
Well, I tell you what Babe Ruth was doing. He was going out getting drunk the night before game. So that wasn't any performance enhancing stuff. So
man, I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe
well, there's all kinds of stories about it.
I don't know. I've been drunk like once and everything's a lot slower. Everything's a lot slower when I'm drunk. If I'm sitting there and I'm ready to hit, the ball don't look like it's 90. It might look like it's 65. Y'all don't know if that's performance enhancing or not.
It is not.
You don't know that, Dave.
You do. Yes, you do.
We assume it's a good chance that you're right. But Hollywood Henderson was doing coke on the field. Was that performance enhancing?
Yes, that speeds you up.
You damn right it's So I'm saying it's
drinking is not.
If your bat speed is too fast, if you're too anxious.
Too fast.
If you're too anxious, I digress. Players mess up. I digress. But if you're too anxious, but now you're too drunk to be anxious, That's performance enhancing, is it not?
It is not.
All
Not
right.
not alcohol.
I
That's why
disagree with you. I
uh,
disagree with you because
there's
if every
scientific
black man in
evidence.
America will tell you that if I get drunk off that Hennessy, I'm gonna be a better performer that night too. That's performing enhancing, brother. It's the
Not in
same thing with
not
a
in
different
baseball. You're
twist.
not. Not in baseball. You're not.
I just saying.
Not in
I'm just
baseball. You're not.
all right.
All right. All
I
right.
took
All
it
right.
work.
So let's. That's all I got on the other stuff. So go to tailgating and just life in general. See what's going on where. How much of Vegas is opening back up? You know.
Well, first of all, the parks would never close. I just went around the mountain the other day. Mm, I was thank God for this podcast because I didn't have to go today. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about going, but I don't know. But
Too many
but
people out there.
we got people volunteering closing, like Lee's Liquor. I love Lee's Liquor. That Asian brother, he just got the best sales on beer, wine, and liquor. But he voluntarily closed. And
Okay.
we're doing just delivery. So it's not so much that I mean everything is closed except for Lowe's and Walmart.
Yeah.
But it's not opening back up. It ain't, and I don't see it really.
But your restaurants and stuff are open for takeout, right? I mean, all that kind of stuff.
Every last one of them
Yeah.
restaurants.
So, well, Dallas is supposed to be opening back up this week on May 1st. Apparently, the governor has said some stuff. I don't think we're open up fully, but a lot of businesses by Monday will be opening back up. I think parks and stuff like that are opening. I have to check the details of what they said, but apparently May 1st is the date that they set for opening stuff here. So. I didn't know how much of that was going on in Vegas or whatever, but Georgia apparently opened this week or whatever they're going on too. So I don't know how much of that's going on. We'll see what kind of consequences that has, if any. But anything else you want to talk about there, just in general in the world?
No.
Okay,
No.
so it's time for Ray's rumination.
Yeah. Since we talk about the pandemic, let's just be honest. Something ain't right. Because I don't know how you can put, all them people in Walmart, but I can't put people in the Denny's. I mean, it just don't make common sense. So you saying that in a restaurant that seats 100 people, we can't just say, hey, we only letting 50 in. You can go on a normal regular day. On a normal regular day, you can walk up to a restaurant on a busy Friday, Saturday night. They got a line outside. So they can't do the same thing now. Why we crippling the little man and we still letting the big boys just have at it? Walmart can do whatever they want to do. Let in everybody, but somebody that got a little mom and pop restaurant, oh no, well, y'all gonna fold. And as you already said, they ain't gonna be able to get that 4 million because they gave it to the Lakers, right? So it just don't make sense to me on why they choosing to have social distance in the biggest stores, but not in the little stores. That don't make sense to me. That's all I got for Ray's rumination.
Okay, I'm gonna let you say that. I understand why they're doing it, but that's not my stuff there. So for my dialogue, basically today I just got some shout outs. So I want to say congratulations, my boy Jamal. They had their second son on Monday, Atreus Luke Isom. So congratulations to
What?
Atreus.
Jamal. That's mighty black of you.
Well, no, it's not actually. That's Greek. That's mighty Greek of him. Atreus was the father of Menelaus and Agamemnon, who started the Trojan War over Helen of Troy. So that's where Atreus comes from.
The great Randy Galloway said, "Never let details get in the way of a good story."
Yeah,
Proceed on, brother.
I think that's a great story. I also want to shout out to my boy Bill, who goes to all the Final Fours.
I love Bill.
Yeah, so he had shoulder surgery on Monday last weekend. I think it was Thursday or Friday last week. He broke his clavicle riding his bicycle around White Rock Lake. So he said it was a Tony Romo injury, and I said, don't worry, you'll be back throwing in no time, and I don't think Dak will take your spot, mostly because I don't think Dak has his wife's phone number. So, anyway, so get better, Bill. The surgery was Monday, and I think it went pretty well. They said I talked to his wife, and went all right. And then I want to say a thank you to Lorianne, my friend from Paris, who lives here in my apartment complex. She's doing some graphics and stuff for Preachers from the Bleachers, which you probably see up in the next week or two, and helping us out with some marketing. Maybe see if we can get a few, 3 or 4 more viewers on the show or something like that. So thank you very much to Lorianne. And when you see the graphics, hey, think of Paris. And that's it. That's all I got. So anything else you need to say for the week number 3?
Week number 3 started off slow, but I mean, it worked out.
Right on.
Worked out.
So
yeah. I mean, they don't know all the technical difficulties that go. Hey,
yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna say one thing. I probably should have said it in Ray's Reminiscence. This ain't easy. This ain't easy, man. I got so much love and so much respect for these guys that do this and get paid. I mean, I got notes and everything. It ain't easy to just talk about sports. It is when you're sitting in the bar and you're not thinking about what you want to talk about. But when you say, we're gonna talk about this, that, and the other, and then there's just parts of it that naturally flow. Man, it ain't nearly as easy, but it's still just as much fun.
Yeah, I think so. But I agree with you. And there's the technical difficulties. Ray got some new headphones, and they weren't working quite too well. So it took us about 20 minutes to fiddle with those, and decided we just wouldn't use them this week. So anyway, I agree with you. We don't have a tech guy, but we'll try to get better at it. So thanks again. This is episode 3, Preachers from the Bleachers. We'll see you guys next week. All right.
Out. Love you.
Peace. Love you.